A simple trick for matching your pickups with the original project recording. Coming up next on this week's DeWeese Directive. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. I'm Bill DeWeese, and welcome to this week's DeWeese Directive. And before we get into the meat of the content for this week, I wanted to make a quick mention that tonight at 8 o'clock Central will be the first in a 4-part series talking about voiceover character success. If you have any interest in recording character voiceovers, and by the way, this is a quickly growing a niche within the voiceover industry. There are a lot more opportunities within games and video games and digital products than there has ever been before. This is something that you may want to consider, and my special guest for these next 4 weeks will be Christina Malizia, who is a 22-year veteran of the character voiceover industry in Los Angeles, working for companies like Hasbro and Mattel and Electronic Arts. She is voicing 3 characters right now in the world's most popular video game, League of Legends, and she knows how to do this. Not only how to do it, but how to do it for a living. In other words, how to build your career recording character voiceovers. So if you want to register, again, it begins tonight. Go to vocharactersuccess.com. vocharactersuccess.com. So I received an email this morning from Rhonda, and Rhonda says in her email, I'm having a terrible time matching the sound of projects that continue from day to day. She goes on to explain that she may do a long project. For instance, she mentions a 6,000-word project that she's worked on. A few days later, a client sends some edits, some pickups, and she's having a terrible time matching the new audio to the old audio. Something that we all deal with. Now, when it comes to matching new audio with a previous project, there's a number of variables that could affect the way you sound and may come between you and duplicating the read style and sound that you did on the original project. It could be something like time of day. You know, our voices are a little different in the morning than they are in the afternoon, than they are later in the evening. It could be the amount of sleep that you had the day before. It could be what you just ate. It could be your proximity to your microphone, how close you are to the microphone. It could be whether on one day or the other you maybe had the studio door cracked a little bit, or how far you had it open. All of those things play into the sound of the audio. But all of that aside, the one trick that I found, that I use, that helps me very much is very simple. And what I do is this. I go back to the original program, or the original recording rather. I open it up and I pull up the script of the original project, and I begin following along on the script. In other words, I pull up the original script, the original recording, and I begin recording, or rather not recording, but reading to my previous recording. So I begin to listen and read over top of myself. So I read what I'm reading in the recording, and then I begin to match the pace. And then I begin to match the tone and the attitude. And then I begin to match the pitch of my voice. Because, for instance, let's say I just recorded a local car dealer commercial where it's calling for a lot of intensity and a higher pitched sound and a lot of excitement. It may be hard just on the fly to automatically adjust to the tone and the tempo of a medical narration. But by pulling up the original recording and the script and listening and beginning and then read the script as I'm listening to the recording over top of myself, I can begin to adjust my tempo, my pace, the pitch of my voice, the attitude, until I am in sync with my original recording. Once that happens, I pull up a new project, I pull up the pickups, and then I begin to record my pickups. And usually, more times than not, it's a very simple process. Again, there could be several variables. Make sure that you work very consistently the same distance from your microphone. For instance, that could be a really big issue when it comes to matching sound. But by listening to the original recording and reading along to it, you'll find that most of those problems that you have, Rhonda, will disappear. Thanks for checking out today's video. Make sure to like it, share it with your friends, subscribe if you have not, and I look forward to talking to you again very, very soon. Oh, and by the way, tonight, looking forward to chatting with you on the VoiceOver Character Success webinar with Christina Malizia. Make sure you register at vocharactersuccess.com.